Hey, so I've been collecting Transformers for this past year, and I'm like really into it. So I wanted to make a short video about them. So I gave myself the question of if I were to pick a new main cast of characters for a new animated series, which characters out of my collection would I pick as that main cast? I'm only going to select from the good guys that I have. I don't have enough bad guys to really select from right now. And then I'm only going to use from what I really collected, which was Studio 86 and War for Cybertron characters. I also wanted to eliminate Optimus Prime and Optimus Primal as the leaders for this new series. I just wanted a fresh take on someone new, or someone at least feels newer to the series. And I also wanted to select between 5 to 7 characters for this cast. Next, I wanted to pick the leader, and I had 4 options out of my collection. There was Springer, Jazz, Cheetor, and Grimlock. I figured that Jazz wouldn't be the one I would put as leader. I think he's more of a second in command. Springer, I really like. He's probably one of my favorite in the collection. Cheetor, he's he. I feel like he could be a great leader, but he already had that storyline going for him. And then Grimlock is already the leader of the Dinobots. I ended up going with Springer. I felt that him being the triple changer, the Voyager class size. I like his color. I think he would be an awesome leader. So that is my pick for the leader of this group. The next character I wanted to add was the young character, the character that relates to most of the audience that is watching the show. So I had the choice between Smokescreen, Cheetor, and Hotshot. In the end, I chose Hotshot. I loved Cheetor in Beast Wars and Smokescreen in Prime. So I wanted to elevate Hotshot into that like Bumblebee status that I think he deserves. And it's not like he isn't viewed as that. I just thought that he could be a more popular character because outside of the original cartoon that he was in, I don't think people really know about him, and I didn't know anything about him until I started collecting in this past year. Oh, and I forgot that he was in Rescue Bots, so he might be a good addition because of kids transitioning from the Rescue Bots series. They could transition into this series knowing a character from before. And the third addition to the group was kind of an easy selection because I wanted it to be a female character, and I only have one to choose from. And she's one of my top 5, I would say, from my collection so far. And that would be Airazor. And even though she was in Beast Wars, I feel like we didn't get enough of her. So I think it'd be nice to expand upon her character. For that 4th character, I wanted it to be that small character that everyone wants to love. The one that's, maybe a little sarcastic and has to compensate for his tiny stature. And for these, I had 3 choices between Huffer, Cliffjumper, and Rat Trap. And I ended up going with Cliffjumper. I think he always kind of gets the short end of the stick when it comes to a lot of series. They always kill him off, or like in the movie, they killed him off, and I feel like he deserves like a bigger role, and I would like to see him in the main cast. So for the 5th character, I wanted him to be like that big, lovable character. And I pretty much had the choice of Grimlock, Grapple, and Hoist. And I ended up choosing Grapple. I like the fact that he's an architect and he can bring that to the team, like he could build things. I also like the fact that I don't know much about him and he's a great figure. I love transforming him. And I want to give him a personality that is very thoughtful and calming, and I think that would be a great addition to the team. With the addition of Grapple, I think my second to last character would be Wheeljack. And he's basically the obvious tech guy, the guy that loves to invent things and has that optimistic attitude. And seeing as that I don't have a Ratchet in my collection, I think he would take up that role of the person that knows how to fix things. And he's really the first Transformer that I ever bought for myself, which led me into this whole collection. And so I really like this character. He speaks to me, so I had to add him. And finally, for that last character, I wanted him to be like a gritty character. Someone who could be like a good bad guy, but ends up fighting on the good guy team. So I gave myself the choices of Impactor, Dinobot, and Hollow Mirage. Ultimately, my final decision was Impactor. From what I saw in Siege, I wanted more of him, and I haven't read any of the comics yet, so I would love to see more screen time for him in general. With Dinobot, his storyline in Beast Wars was so epic, I wouldn't want to mess with that at all. I think it was a great storyline, and I wouldn't pick him for another series. I think he lives and dies in the classic Beast Wars series. And the reason why I have Hollow Mirage as my third option is that I view him as a different character than Mirage. In my mind, I have him as some sort of clone or something like that. So I would take that kind of storyline, like he was born bad or born on the bad side and ends up learning to become good, something like that. So here is basically my final 7 bot team. I hope you guys like it. If there are any other Transformers fans out there, I would like to see what you would pick as your 7 for your new series. I also wanted to see where I could take this idea. Let me know if you guys want more to this, if I should design some logos or some concept art for this. I think that would be kind of fun. But basically, I'm becoming a hardcore fan, so this has been fun. Thanks for watching.